All right, welcome everybody back to the Real Play podcast. This is Ciera,
As Ebony.
and we are here today to just talk about some things that are on our mind. So, we were scrolling. I was scrolling on Instagram,
On the Instagram.
on the gram, and I came across this very interesting post. And it says, "Family, what are your thoughts on this?" So, I'm going to read the post. It's kind of long. Um, if I stutter, it's been a long day. But yes. So, it says, "My mother, who is white and Asian, told me to use college as a husband hunting ground." Mm, 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 mm.
Can we pause and engage during this conversation? Do you want to read the whole thing?
I mean, if you want to say something right now, you can.
I'll wait to the next sentence because
Okay, well, the next one isn't really exciting. It's there's no partying and no drinking, which I didn't really do in college anyway. My friends and I hung.
I had fun in college.
I had fun, but I didn't hit the parties and I didn't drink.
I went to a lot of parties. I got into parties for free. And sorry, dad and mom, but my mom probably don't care. But I definitely drunk my fair share of alcohol in college. I felt like I hadn't drunk. Did I drink prior to college? Okay. I did drink prior to college. I
Mm-hmm.
was 18 and we went to senior week, and that was when I first had my first alcohol.
What did you have?
Do you really want to know?
The listeners want to know. I want to know. Let's
It's
go.
embarrassing, guys. Mad Dog 20. Oh, no. I'm a lie. My first ever drink was moonshine.
Okay.
And I didn't even know the alcohol to juice ratio. So my friend at the time, he had moonshine and he was like, Ebony, I'm going to let you pour your own drink. And I was like, okay, cool. So I had like this much of moonshine because I didn't know like the ratio at that time. And he was like, I'm going to have to pull your juice. He was like, you're not going to be able to function if I just let you drink this. And so I was like, oh, I'm fine. You know, Daredevil, he gave me the drink. He poured my juice for me. And I was like, okay, done.
It,
Right.
did, it didn't burn or
Let's just
anything?
say the night was fun. um,
I'm sorry, y'all. I know
I was
y'all.
18, fearless. Hey, biscuit.
All right, y'all. If y'all hear like a little snore in the background, Biscuit is back. And that is my mom's 13-year-old miniature pinscher. So that vibration, that snore, that's her. She's right up under me. So I just had to say that because as you're talking about drinking and you're going like this, look, I hear her. I'm like, oh gosh, that's embarrassing. That's not
Biscuit,
Ebony.
feel me.
That's Biscuit with her sound effects. So you drank the
That
whole
is biscuit.
cup of
Cup within
moonshine.
seconds.
Mm.
Moonshine. And then we went to some club afterwards, and they were videotaping us. And the next day we watched it. It was the disaster. And I knew, like, at that moment, I said I was like 17, 18. I was like, oh my God, when this comes out, when I'm like 25, I'm going to be so embarrassed. We have no idea where this tape went, where it is, who has it.
Uh-huh.
So somebody stole the tape and we have no idea. Hey, Biscuit, we have no idea where this tape is. So if it ever comes out, that ain't me. I don't know who that is, but it ain't me.
It's not you. It is your long lost cousin twin. That's what it is.
Correct. And I think also you are different. Like, think about, I'm so glad we didn't have Instagram and stuff. We had Facebook, but you know, a lot of my pictures are deleted, but it's stuff back then because I'm like, I'm nowhere near the same person. But anyway, that was my first drinking experience. And then when I got to college, of course I drunk, I partied, but it wasn't like obsessive. You know, I didn't get overly drunk and was falling out of clubs or nothing. We just had fun. That was just what it was. So I think college is the time to have fun
It
and
is.
to drink and to party if you're going to do it, if you want to. It's not a necessity, but it is a necessity. Everybody that's listening, watching it, it's a necessity,
Have
right?
fun while you're in college.
To have fun. I'm not saying drink and party, but I think it's a rite of passage, if you ask me. I think that if I hadn't partied, if I hadn't, at least, I didn't try any drugs or anything like that. I mean, alcohol as far as I went. But I think that if I hadn't tried those things, I would be sitting here, you know, at 33, like, dang, I wish I would have like seen what that was like, at
Mm-hmm.
least.
True.
So I think it's important
Right. I
to have
agree.
a little something fun. Okay, next
All
sentence.
right.
Next
So the
sentence.
next sentence. First of all, the husband hunting ground was a lot for me, but all right. So we're not partying. There's no drinking. My friends and I hung around the finance, law, tech, and medical buildings over the summer instead of having a hot girl summer. So we're going to stop right there because if you haven't listened to our last episode on hot girl summer, this is the chance to pause this one, go back, listen to what we said about hot girl summer. And then we called a random, not a random person, but a listener of ours, randomly, he didn't know the call was coming. We asked him a question. So if you want to know what the question
Mm-hmm.
was and what his answer was, dealing kind of with women being sexy, then I would say take a few moments, about 40 minutes of your time, and go back and check out that episode. But yeah, so Ebony, they hung
Yes.
out smart. These are, I'm a little jealous that I didn't think about this back in the day, like hang out in the finance. Well, I was in business, so I was already in the business building, but and we didn't have a law building. We really didn't have tech either.
I
And
will
the medical came
say,
after the fact. So yeah, I couldn't hang out in these buildings.
I think that no, but I think that I thought going to college now, just by watching like TV and stuff, I thought by going to college that I was going to meet my husband and it was going to be, you know, flowers and, you know, it was going to be like a romantic movie. Absolutely not. Um, so I think she's just the, she just happens to have found her husband. She was lucky to have
We
done
haven't
that because,
we haven't got to that part yet. They don't know what's about to happen.
oh, my bad. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So even though a fair amount of people probably are thinking to themselves, dang, why didn't I look at college like this? Why didn't
Mm-hmm.
I hang in front of the law department and wait for the future lawyer to come out and scoop me up? But we'll finish this out. So they
I
didn't have
probably
a
couldn't
hot
even
girl.
tell you what the law department was in college.
We didn't even have one. Hey,
Probably that's
sorry.
probably what it was. We probably didn't have one.
Yeah, we didn't have one. But then it says her father, who is black, was heavily in capital letters involved in her dating life. So right now, this individual is 26 years old. She's married and been married for 4 years. She met, I'm going to read it just how she has it. We met on
Mm-hmm.
campus while I was hanging by the tech building. He's an African from the Ivory Coast. Um, so I took West African cooking classes. Smart, smart. Um, she went to the gym 6 days a week and she still goes to the gym and made sure she wore pastel pink and blue dresses.
I
Not
don't know
too
what that had
sure
to do with
if,
anything,
and yeah, I didn't understand that part either, but maybe it has something to do with the Ivory Coast.
or maybe like more feminine colors, probably.
Could be. The nail in the coffin was when I tailored his suit.
Child, I had no money to say well, nobody nothing in college, but keep going.
We were married in 7 months. My parents have been married 42 years, and my husband's parents have been married 46 years, which I do think that it is not 100% like required, but I think it does mean a lot when you marry somebody who has the same upbringing as you. So if your
Mhm.
parents are still married and their parents are still married versus if your parents are married and they're not. I just feel like you just have a different background on marriage already looking into it. So that's just my thought on
So
that.
I mean, I've talked to one of my friends about this extensively, and I don't think you should measure your background based on someone else's because they could bring a totally different perspective for you and it could be the best for you. But I do get what you're saying. Like, you know, if I can marry someone with similar backgrounds, it's much easier.
Right.
And I also want to know, she said we were married in 7 months. Is this 7 months your freshman year? I need to know.
She never said which years they were dating, but I guess just from 7 years from meeting, 7 months from meeting each other. So whether it's
Okay.
freshman, sophomore, junior, I think the
All
key
right.
to that is not, and she's only 26, so she just graduated from college. So the key is that she didn't need a really long time.
Oh, she's married 4 years. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so
So
she
it's
got
probably her freshman
married. Yeah. Um PS, degrees are for the purpose of helping in capital letters your husband.
year.
I have an MBA in finance and accounting, a CFE, a C AMS and a CPA. I work for my husband. My mother is an accountant for my father's business. I was told to find a field that can be an asset to your spouse. This is the key. This is the kicker that got me. I don't understand why women get degrees in sociology, psychology, etc. That's not an asset to an economy, let alone a husband.
Ooh, okay, girl.
No.
I got my degree in psychology, so call us her.
Hmm.
You know, some people, I'm just gonna say it, some people aren't as fortunate as her. And then these unfortunately type of people don't understand that everybody doesn't have that type of upbringing. Everybody doesn't have the mom that you have, the dad that you have, the upbringing that you have, and they've been married X amount of years, and they can groom you to be married or acquire a husband if that's the case, right?
Hmm.
Everybody has to take their own path. Some people go to get psychology and sociology and psychology degrees because that's what they could get at the time, or because they like psychology,
Hmm.
they want to go into mental health or mental wellness. You know, I don't think people should be shamed for it. And I think something is to be said, if you really want to pull her card, is all of these degrees you have and you are helping someone else, why can't you go start your own business? I don't think that when I was getting my degree, I was thinking of how this can help my husband.
And that,
Like,
hmm
I was thinking, how can I help me
and
and
that's the
me?
key. That is the key to this whole thing. Her parents told her from the beginning, you're going to college to find a husband. It was
Wow.
never about herself. That's what the first sentence said. So it was never about me going to college and finding a degree or something that I love so that I can be a businesswoman and or I can, do my own thing. It was I'm going to go to college, I'm going to find a man and I'm going to find a degree that will help him so that we can work together. And I think that's very interesting. Never thought of that. I got a business degree, so anybody out there, no matter what you do, I can help you, baby. But
I feel like psychology and social, like those things translate. Like, ain't no matter what you say to me, I got my degree in psychology. I can read a room. Not everybody can, but I can read a room. So I feel like they translate well. Now, can I go get a job based on my psychology degree? Probably not. But the fact that
Mhm.
I have a 4-year degree in something will get me a job faster than someone who doesn't.
But how can
Possibly.
so say your husband is he is a firefighter. No,
Mm-hmm.
not a firefighter. Okay, you want to go to firefighter? So
I've talked to a firefighter, so it's fine. It's good. Keep going.
okay, well, he's a firefighter and you got a degree in
Mm-hmm.
psychology. How can you help him in his career?
I mean, I can counsel you when you come home. I don't really want to help you in your
You
like.
can't cancel someone you know. That's like the number one rule.
You can't really is annoying, but you can like help them in other ways. You know, you can help them see other sides of things. I think that like I personally would never get something for someone else. Like, is she happy though? Like, you went through all this trouble, got all these degrees and certifications to only help someone else. Like, yeah, you said these things, but are you truly happy?
Mm, that is a good question because her happiness could be that they have a successful business or because her mom was also in accounting and also in finance.
And is it
So it
us with
ran
the
into,
business or him with the business?
she says she works for her husband.
No. Okay.
So they're both, yeah, that's what it said. It said, I work for my husband. So they're both benefiting off of the success of the business. Now, whether or not her name is on the business, whether or not she got like, you know, anything legally tying her to the business outside of being an employee, I don't know. But it sounds like she's following in her mother's footsteps, who is Asian and Caucasian. Her dad was black and she married a black guy. And she's doing exactly
Hmm.
what her mother did, which was being the finance side, which women usually are a little bit better at the finances anyway, but being the finance side of a business that is run by her husband. So I get I get what she's saying, like, you know, get something that can help benefit you in the long run by benefiting and improving what your spouse is doing. Now, does that, your future spouse, because you're still in college, but does that really bring you happiness? We don't know. We don't know.
I mean, I personally wouldn't be happy, if I was. I don't even know if I would be happy if I was married my freshman year. As bad as I probably thought in my brain that I wanted to be married, I have changed so much since I was that person. I don't think I even knew who I was enough to be married to someone. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I personally, I think that you can find love in college. I think it is possible. I think that a lot of people do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't specifically go to college to find a husband.
Right. I agree. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, dang, she was smart though.
Yeah,
She was smart. She
should
was
have
smart.
perused a little bit around a couple of
Hmm.
areas, but
I mean, and I know a lot of people who have found their future husband and wives in college and are married, but I just wasn't one of them, and I'm not.
and I
Mm,
believe that you cross paths with who you're meant to cross paths with at that time. So it is what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. So that I just had I was like, Ebony, we got to talk about this because it just kind of it threw me off a little. But I'm like, wow, like my whole purpose of going to school was to get something that can help be a helpmate to my husband, which I think women and men should be mates to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's in whatever degree I get or just what we do at the house, like I think that that's very important. But again, I'm saying I got a business degree, so baby, I don't care who you are, I can help you,
Hey,
baby.
baby. Hey, baby.
But
Ciera says she can help a little something.
I can help, but that's not why I picked business. Like I picked it because that's something I was interested in. I was interested in marketing. So I got my degree in marketing. But I wasn't thinking, okay, so when I get older, because you're 20 something, you're 18, 19 when you pick your degree. Like you're not thinking, oh, okay, what am I gonna do with this later on? And which husband can I get up with and we can make this
Mm-hmm.
a thing. But I thought that was very interesting. And then speaking of
Un-
this, oh go ahead.
I was gonna say unpopular opinion. I feel like degrees really don't matter because who the hell remember what you sat in school and learned? Nobody.
So, what I will say, I do remember what I learned because it's business and I work in a business atmosphere. So, the
Mm-hmm.
business letters, the business etiquette, like the
You
negative.
probably learned a lot on the job though, versus
I took what I learned to help me in my job to begin with.
okay.
Like, you can't, in my job, like, you can go in there and you could take the classes on contracting, but business etiquette, all that stuff was taught in college. How to write a business letter, how to, prepare for interviews, all of that stuff that was taught in college as a business person.
Hmm.
So I think that I have used some, but I haven't used like my true marketing skills. But like if my friends are doing something or doing a business, I'll say, hey, did you think about this? That's from undergrad because I can't do marketing in my current job. I can think about it on a marketing side, but I can't actually do it. So I think if you, depending on what you went into, you're using parts of it. So even psychology,
Yeah.
like I know you're not out here shrinking people. I know that's not the right
Mm-mm.
word. I'm sorry, psychologists and psychiatrists, my bad. But I know you're not doing that, but you probably are dealing with your interpersonal skills with other people using some of the psychology stuff that you learned in college. So you're not using it
Mm-hmm.
full out, but I do think we do learn stuff. We don't use the math. Yeah.
I mean, even my minor was in biology. No, we don't use the math. My minor was in biology, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm like very interested in.
Mhm.
Even if it comes to like microbes and like what kills bacteria, I just be like, oh,
Yeah.
got to get this one and not this one because this won't kill, even though it says it might.
Mhm.
You know.
So
So
yeah,
yeah.
we're still using what we learned in college. So I think saying I got a 4-year degree may not mean anything to most people because everyone has a 4-year degree. And then it was like, oh, well, not everyone. A large number of people have 4-year degrees. Actually, really, it's not that large, but in the community that we're in, it appears as though everybody does. And
Mm-hmm.
then on top of that, everybody in business, like, oh, let me go get an MBA. So I didn't go get my master's in business for what? It's like having the same thing as everyone else. I got my master's in something else to be different. And in something that I figured I would use is leadership and as a supervisor. I'm leading people. And when I get my own business popping, I'm going to be leading my people. So
Mm-hmm.
I think people get stuck on, oh, you went to college, you didn't go to college. And like you
Yeah.
said, you learn stuff, you learn cultural stuff while you're in school, you learn how to interact with people without your parents around.
Mm-hmm.
You learn microbes and all of that stuff that you might think about later on in life. But
Yeah.
really, when it comes down to it, like we spend a lot of money just to say we have a paper, and I don't even know where my degree is, my undergrad.
Now I will say, mine is in my room, but I will say that I believe that there is some value. I don't know how college is set up today, but when we were going to school, it was like it was just like a rite of passage. Like that's the next thing you did. And I think that going to college helped me because I came from a small town. Like I was able to get around people, learn to navigate, like you said,
Mhm.
other people. I mean, I learned some in high school, but it's different when you go off to college and now you can become friends with people that you don't know. Like,
You're
you're
actually
not
making
forced to become
friends,
friends with, right.
right?
You're not forced to be friends with these people. You are navigating like not having to go to class, having to go to class, like responsibilities, you know, yourself, whether you want to eat or not eat or go party or whatever,
Hmm.
so I think that it's a good environment for I don't know what it's set up today, but back in the day, because I feel like we old. I mean, at least I'm old, because college
I'm
was a
not
long time ago.
old.
College
College,
was a long time ago. I didn't realize that, but it was a long time ago.
college was 13 years ago for me
Ooh,
when I graduated.
it's like
So, but I'm not
you know,
old because
like
blacks
10,
don't crack, y'all.
10,
Okay,
11 years ago.
okay. This is 13 years out, and I still look like I'm a college student. So, but college was great. I love it. Big shout out to
I
Fayetteville
can't
State
believe it's been that
University.
long. Oh my god! Shout out
Fayetteville,
CSU.
stand up. Bronco pride, attitude check. Yep, yep. All right. The real black FSU. Okay. So anyway,
All right.
I'm done with that. But one other thing that kind of went on what we were talking about before we get to the next topic was that I saw a post that said, should women be submissive to men? And I was like, okay, let me hear what this little boy about to say. It was a little boy. He looked like he was probably like 20. But he's like, submission. You never follow someone who doesn't have a mission. So if he doesn't have a mission, you should not submit. I was like,
Oh,
yes,
I thought I saw that. I think I saw that.
that is the key. Like I mean, I personally don't see any issue with submitting to a man. But he has to be someone that you know can lead you. And
Hmm.
I saw that not too long after seeing the other post that I just read.
I
So I'm
believe that, and I think there's too many little boys who want women to submit to them, but they're not doing anything for the women to submit. You have to be a
ouch,
leader. You have
ouch.
to, and I ain't going. Also, we're not submitting to you if we're not in a relationship with you. Matter of fact, if I'm not married to you, relationship, it gets a little tricky in a relationship because there is some form of submission in a relationship to show you, I guess, what is capable when you get married. But all of
Hmm.
these are fine lines and every relationship is different. But don't expect someone to submit to you in a situationship.
Amen.
That's all I'm saying.
Ebony has dropped the mic.
Yes, but yeah, like, and I think that it's very important that men realize like we are, even very independent women, we're willing to, you know, uh, stand back, a little bit
Hmm.
to allow you to be the man. However, I think it takes a lot, like mutual respect. It takes more, I will say respect, because
Hmm.
I don't know, there's a certain level and a very certain level of leadership. Because I think that certain men, their presence can make a woman be like, you know what? Let me, okay, let me see
Hmm.
what he's talking about. So depends on the guy. And it's too many little boys around here and not enough men. So that's the thing.
Mm.
I'm off my
About
soapbox.
to say shots fired. I know someone's sitting there like, no, we not little boys, we men.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to say that you have to prove it, but you do have to prove it. You have to show us. Like we're not gonna just follow you or say, okay, well, he's the top dog in this relationship and he's making the decisions and all of that. If you haven't proven to us that we can do that and it'd be safe for us and that
Mm-hmm.
things will turn out in the right way. Like, things happen, but at the same time, you don't want somebody who's just like flying off the seat of his pants and not thinking anything through. And the next thing you know, y'all in debt or y'all at a restaurant and you ain't got enough money to pay for the food, and now you coming out your
Better
Ebony
wash the
coming out her
dishes.
pocket, and she's like, "Oh,
Better
never
wash the dishes.
like I'm walking out. You better wash the dishes, right?" So even
Right.
though that's like a little like example, but it comes down to we look at the decisions you make, and from there we decide if we want to follow you.
I think you said something important too. You said safety. And I think a lot of times I'm going to give you a hack, guys, a safety hack. I mean, not a safety hack, a hack, right?
Mm-hmm.
When a woman feels safe and protected, you can get a lot further in life. I'll just say that and leave it at that. Good luck, guys. Good luck.
That is a great tip, and that is very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
And safety does not always just mean physically safe. So that means emotionally, mentally,
Come on with the tips.
spiritually, financially, and then physically. So, like, you got 5 ways to make us feel safe. And if you can tackle more than one at once, like, we're going to start falling in love real quick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not love, but we're going to really fall in some lust real quick and we'll see where it grows to. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're not making us feel safe, secure, loved, appreciated, it's not going to go far. That situationship is going to end whenever the next guy asks for the phone number.
Comes along.
And speaking of
Mm-hmm.
that, I know that we're about to switch topics real quick, but these men have not been out as much as they in previous years, or maybe it's just me. But I used to go out and there'd be always like a guy randomly. And this was
Mm-hmm.
cute. On Sunday, I was headed over to a friend's birthday party. We're gonna do some wine tasting. And I stopped to get her
I
some
saw
roses.
y'all pictures
My pictures?
online. Yeah,
I posted
online
pictures.
on Instagram. No, I follow her on Instagram.
Oh, I'm about to say I ain't posted pictures. So I stopped to get her some roses, right? And I'm walking out of the store. I got my mask on, and this old man in a Cadillac.
Come
Okay.
on, Caddy.
He's probably like 40. No, he's probably a little older than 40. 40's not that old. He's probably like 45, 50. And he was playing this music, rolling real slow. And I saw him. We made eye contact. I was like, dang it, it's about to happen. But I had my mask on. So I'm like, okay, well, he can't really see me. He don't know what I look like. He pulled up. He's like, oh, that's so sweet of you to buy me roses. And I just started laughing. So like if he was younger, that would have been a cute pickup line. But
All
looking
right.
looking at his window, I was just like, mm-mm, you too old. I'm not feeling the Cadillac. Like you're an old man when you're riding in the Cadillac. So I was like, oh no, I didn't do that. And he was like, oh, well, do you have a man? And can I get your number? I was like, oh yeah, I got somebody. I lied. So
Listen, this
the I got a man is the go-to, but I heard you're supposed to say I'm pregnant